I'm just saying your quarterback take about these two is
Oh
what
no,
I'm.
they're both amazing quarterbacks. They're just not the best.
They are the best.
No, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
so.
Hmm.
Everybody else would.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. In
Yeah.
fact, the majority of the people voting are going to say that Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback in the league this year.
No,
Again, for the second year in a row.
you
So
haven't
I feel
seen
like two straight MVPs. It's kind of hard to argue who the
the
best
polls just
quarterback in the
came.
league is.
They just re-updated the polls today. Allen's leading by 2%.
That's
That's just not true.
No, I'm joking, but I'm just uh no, they did. I saw someone they commented and they said that the after that game, the who votes for it? It's like
the
NFL. It's
votes are
people. It's
already in.
NFL. No, it's not.
Yeah,
What
Yeah,
are
they
you
they
are.
are.
talking about? No, they're
The
not.
votes go in after this regular season ends.
Yeah, it should be Josh
They
Allen.
just give the award after. Yeah.
It shouldn't be Josh Allen, and it probably won't be Josh Allen, given that Lamar's already been named first team All Pro, and you like that means that the same people vote for first team All Pro vote for MVP, and they voted that Lamar was better. So I feel like it's a pretty
Yeah, but
strong
first
basis.
team All Pro quarterback has not won the MVP before.
What?
That's happened before. I've
Oh
literally
no, it's
forgot. I
happened.
remember.
I thought you meant it's never happened that a first team All
No,
Pro
no,
quarterback.
no.
No. I know it's happened before, but the two times it happened were Adrian Peterson in 2012 and then the split. So if they decide on a split again, then you know
No,
what?
no, no. It was when like Montana. It was like Elway or something. I
I,
remember.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But
But
let's talk
would you
about the
rather
game.
have a Super Bowl or MVP?
What would I rather? I would rather have a Super Bowl.
Yeah. So
However, there's
there
two
we go.
games
That
left.
that
There's two
decides it.
games left. Josh Allen's never won a Super Bowl.
Neither
So
has Lamar Jackson.
I know. You know what we can do right now? We can say, you know who has won a Super Bowl? Nick Foles. Where does he rank compared to Lamar Jackson all time?
Terrible, terrible argument there.
Nah, but I mean, if that's what we want to play, that's what we want to play.
Well, I'm not the Mahomes, the Allen Lamar conversation is a conversation. My bone to pick with you is the
The
Lamar
Mahomes.
Mahomes, which is just
So,
like
so here's where it comes down to, though, because you could ask me who's a better winner, and I have no argument.
that's what
But
does
like
that
that's like
mean?
a dumb argument.
That
I feel
doesn't.
like better winner. What does that
But
even mean?
it means that him and his team have gone on to win more games. I feel like it's a distinct thing because you can watch the game of football and see, oh my God,
But
Lamar Jackson does things that.
wait. Would you say that Jimmy Garoppolo was a better winner than Lamar Jackson because he won
No,
more games?
Yes,
no,
yes.
I
No,
wouldn't say
well,
so.
okay. But if you're saying that
So Nick
Mahomes is
Foles was.
better at winning, so if you're saying that Mahomes is better at winning games, doesn't that make him a better quarterback considering that's
So here's
why
where
you have a quarterback?
no, so here's where I'm coming from. Patrick Mahomes has the dog in him. He's done it. He's won games. He absolutely has the playoff pedigree. And if you're looking off of results and looking off of who's won Super Bowls, he's the only guy that's won multiple in the
And
league right
who
now.
doesn't have the playoff pedigree?
You know who doesn't? I mean, we can
Lamar
we can have
Jackson.
comparatively to Patrick Mahomes. You're right, but I would argue that Lamar
That's
Jackson
the argument.
what's up?
That's the
But I'm
argument.
telling you that over the past two seasons, Lamar Jackson has delivered two straight, clearly, obviously better years than Patrick Mahomes. And at this point, I feel like that's enough to say that Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback in football.
So
He's
I have a question
delivered
for you.
he's delivered two better years, yet Mahomes has gone back to back Super Bowls.
I was saying this regular season and the season before, but
The
that let's
regular season is not a judgment of a quarterback season. It's the
how does that
postseason.
make sense to you though? You want do
It's
the
both.
first
It's
the
both.
first
The Chiefs
no,
win in the
and that's why I'm
regular
saying
season
that Patrick
and in the,
Mahomes is a better winner. Sure.
that's just it just
No, but you watch 18 games of football in a season where Lamar Jackson is clearly better than Patrick Mahomes. He's going to win the MVP to do it twice in a row. You can't just forget that. And now I agree, the
I
playoffs
don't,
are important, but
are
I
more
think that,
important than anything else in football.
sure, fine, but I don't think you can forget the level difference that has been very clear and apparent for the last two seasons.
so
When you
Dylan,
look
I
at
have a
MVP races, Patrick Mahomes was in a top 10 MVP candidate last year. This year he was probably third or fourth. I just there's it's too big of a discrepancy for me to change it based off of who's won more playoff games in the last 2 years. Listen,
so
I love Patrick Mahomes as a quarterback. I don't want to be shaming him for the way that the seasons have gone.
The
He's
MVP
done
race is
his
also
job.
so much of a stat padded uh award as well.
What?
The MVP race is extremely stat based.
Well, yes, but I mean, you can't watch
Mhm.
Lamar in the regular season compared to Mahomes in the regular season and think it's close.
I can. They lost to the Raiders.
The Chiefs lost to the Chiefs lost to the Bills. So
Yeah, that's
Lamar,
different from losing
who
to the
just beat the
Raiders.
Ravens.
but the Ravens beat the Bills in the regular season.
When they were clearly injured, the Bills now more healthy and beat them.
The Bills
Due
were
to
not
Lamar
as
mistakes.
injured. They weren't
Yes, they
fully.
were.
They were fine.
Matt Milano
Dylan.
being in this game genuinely may
No, of course,
have
of
been the
course.
reason why they won
But
this game.
it was a demolition.
So Dylan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So in this game, say you could potentially swap Patrick Mahomes for Lamar Jackson for the Chiefs in this
It's
AFC
all
Championship.
dependent on what team you're running as. If I'm the
For the
Ravens,
Chiefs. For the Chiefs.
for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes is their quarterback. He knows the system well. But even if they knew the
No,
system,
no, but say they knew the system equivalent, like
but they're not right for each other's system. So if Lamar Jackson sat in this offense,
Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes can play any system in the NFL.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But I would say that
Mahomes would win more.
Okay,
which makes
okay,
it
I
okay,
think that
better.
Lamar
okay,
would
okay,
be
okay,
better
fine, fine. Okay,
for the
since you're dodging the question,
Lamar would be better
Let-
for the Ravens, and
so
Mahomes would be better for the Chiefs.
since you're dodging the question, let's say any random team, any random scheme
Lamar,
against the Bills
Lamar.
in the AFC Championship
Lamar
game.
Jackson, no problem, no problem. You know why? Because Lamar Jackson's
let's
You would
take
take
the guy-
Lamar
The more-
Jackson over Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship when Patrick
But Lamar-
Mahomes has done nothing but win the past few years.
the Chiefs have done nothing but win the last
Oh
few
my
years.
God,
And Patrick Mahomes
it's
is a
like
huge
talking
And
reason.
Patrick
to a
Mahomes is the
wall.
biggest part of
Yeah,
that.
he is the biggest.
It's not
part
like
of
he's
that.
he's
No,
the
I agree
biggest
with you.
part of that.
I agree
He's
with
the
Lamar had
biggest.
two of the biggest turnovers, which were a massive reason why they lost that game. But let's just take him again.
You know why I take him again? Because he's very clearly, when you watch with your eyes, the best quarterback in football. He's the most
That's
talented
not an
player.
argument.
But when you watch last season, Mahomes outplayed Lamar in his own backyard with an inferior team. How do you take Lamar over him?
Well, my argument for that would be that Spagnuolo had the best defensive masterclass ever.
He went against
That's
he went against Mike McDonald, who was the defensive
But
the assistant coach of the
Spagnuolo,
year.
none of us can argue that Spagnuolo coached a better game. Spagnuolo coached the best game I've ever seen from a defensive coordinator in a playoff game in that game.
Well, I think that was
Well,
also
look at-
because Mahomes was less phased than Lamar was in that game.
Lamar, first of all, don't get it twisted. Lamar didn't have a great game, but if Zay Flowers didn't fumble on the 1 yard line, we're having a very different discussion than what we're having.
I'm willing to hear those arguments for this year because I feel like this year he did play two good games, but last year I feel like that's not an argument when he threw one of the worst picks in the of the season.
Agreed.
Like in the fourth quarter, I forgot who it was to. Anyways, he threw into triple
And
coverage
this
in the
year,
end zone.
I
history
remember that.
repeats himself. Mahomes
So this
doesn't
year-
do
this
that.
year-
No,
I will-
this year I'll
listen.
give him more grace. I
This
will.
year, I
Because-
will make the argument, and listen, I know it was still his fault, but Rashad Bateman ran the wrong route on the interception. It was still his fault, but it wasn't as bad as it looked on the normal tape. That being said, he should have not predetermined the throw. But there's a big difference between winning the football games in the postseason because you're the best quarterback in football and winning the games in the postseason because you're a great quarterback and are the second best quarterback in football and have the best surrounding system for late in the season games. This is a defense that's gone out game in, game out. They haven't had a bad postseason game in I don't know how long. And the offense around them, Travis Kelce is one of the best postseason performers of all time. The offensive line does not give Mahomes problems anymore. The run game, Isaiah Pacheco was showing up. And everyone loves to give Patrick Mahomes all the
Dylan,
credit.
you're
And I
just
love to
doing
give
the-
Patrick Mahomes credit. I
You're
love
just
to.
doing the classic I'm losing an argument, so let's talk about everything besides the player we're talking about.
But what do you want me to do? What you want?
Don't because there's nothing that Mahomes can do. Yeah, he's a good team. So does Travis. So does Lamar Jackson. Lamar
But I'm
Jackson
saying that
this
Mahomes
year
is
has
better. And
considerably
I'm
better.
saying if you
It's
Is
not,
it?
with
though.
your
But
eyes,
it
It's not
wasn't.
better.
It wasn't. All
It's
of the
not
regular
better.
season last year, it wasn't. They weren't hot
Do you
going
know
into
who
the
Lamar
playoffs.
Jackson was throwing to last year?
Zay Flowers
Zay
and Rashad
Flowers
Bateman.
and Rashad Bateman
And
and
that's
Mark
not a
Mark
good group of
Andrews,
guys to
Isaiah
throw to.
Likely.
It's not
Patrick
a good
Mahomes
guy.
was throwing to Travis Kelce, Rasheed Rice, and then a bunch of
He doesn't even
And-
have Rasheed Rice anymore.
I'm not
Dylan,
saying right now.
Dylan,
I'm telling you
this
that.
Dylan, this is the test of a good player. Someone who
So Lamar Jackson's not a good player in your eyes?
I'm not talking about. This is a test of a great elite all-time player. Someone who
And
no
Lamar
matter
Jackson
the
isn't that in
team-
your eyes?
No.
How?
good. I
Completely
think Lamar's
fundamentally
great.
changed the game of football, made defenses have to watch
Look.
out for his legs, about to win his third MVP. That's not an all-time player.
I
to you.
think every superlative of Lamar, but Mahomes is a losing argument until he at least makes it to a Super Bowl. it's a losing argument. Mahomes has
But that's
two.
And
that's judging
Dylan,
off
you
the
know it
team.
is.
It's
But
judging off
Dylan,
the
it's
how?
not.
How?
It's not.
Because
The
when you see
quarterback
Lamar directly contributed to them losing last year in the AFC Championship game,
and
Mahomes has
this
outplayed
year,
them in every playoff game that they've played, and honestly, every regular season
Well,
match
I'm
he's
not arguing
outplayed
who's the
them.
better quarterback ever. I'm saying right now, if you look at the
you've
two
s-
quarterbacks, watch them play, look at the teams that's around them, look at the impact they have on their team, I would argue that
Lamar has a pretty great supporting cast this year.
he has Derrick Henry,
you're
he
talking about the
has
impact on their team. Yeah, Mahomes.
Lamar.
No,
Lamar.
Lamar who goes throws an asinine interception, drops the football, and then Mahomes who never makes a mistake.
Mahomes never making a mistake is a
He d-
crazy, crazy.
He won 2 Super Bowls. Not a mistake big enough to lose a game.
Three,
Lamar has done
three
that.
Super
Three,
Bowls.
well,
Three
two
Super
straight,
Bowls.
two
Two
straight.
straight.
Two
A,
straight.
Listen,
a
I
potentially
hate
3
being
straight.
the person arguing against Patrick Mahomes because you can't deny his greatness. It's not a
Exactly.
denial of his greatness. It's just watching and taking off the blinders of everyone says Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, so I have to follow suit. He's very undoubtedly
he is.
the most achieved quarterback in the sport right now. He's won the most Super Bowls. He's won the most games. And his team has helped him along the way to do that. I'm saying that if you watch the game, Lamar Jackson is a better pocket passer. He is a better creator. He is a
He's not
better
a better
runner.
pocket pass.
He is a
He's
better pocket passer. He is the
passer.
best touch of any
Mahomes.
quarterback in the league. His deep ball is better.
Mahomes is the best pocket passer besides Tom Brady, and by the time he retires, will be
I
the
don't
best
think that's
pocket
true.
passer of all time.
I think that Lamar Jackson is a better pocket passer than Patrick
Just say you don't watch Mahomes in the pocket. Mahomes.
Yeah,
Of course I watch.
think, look,
You can't tell me I don't watch
Lamar
Mahomes.
throwing. Okay, Lamar is a better deep ball thrower at this stage of his career. I totally agree with that.
What
Like
are you
inarguable.
talking about?
What
No,
do you mean?
Mahomes has been. Mahomes is a big arm, but he struggled throwing deep this year.
Mahomes would never make, at least, all right, maybe not would never, maybe once in his career, would never make an interception that Lamar Jackson did at that point against the Bills last week.
It was a misrun route. It happens.
No, it was. I mean, you're just Dylan.
I'm gonna send you the clip.
I've literally
right now.
seen.
I'm
I've
gonna
watched people analyze it. It was a misread. It was a complete.
No,
misread
no,
by
I agree. No, I
by
agree. It was
Lamar Jackson.
predetermined. It was a bad mistake. It was predetermined, but it was also Rashad Bateman cutting back on the route. It was a choice route. Rashad Bateman cut back. Lamar gunned it too soon. It was his fault. But
Yeah. So
in
there.
the
So that's
in the choice route though, if Bateman had run the route that Lamar had thought he was running, that was
if Bateman had
probably
run the
a
route,
big
which
hit.
was directly into Taylor Rapp, then maybe he would have caught it.
No,
But
it was a deep
Look,
ball. It was a deep
look.
So how did
I'm
Taylor
I'm
Rapp-
fine with. Good.
Taylor Rapp had the left side of the field? I've watched the all.
No, I've watched the whole thing.
all
I know
22.
it would have
If
been
Bateman
it would have been contested.
If Bateman had decided to let's run into the safety, then maybe would have caught it. So instead, Bateman chose the right decision at the play, which was to not. And he was actually open if Lamar had thrown it
No,
to him.
I agree with you. I'm not
Lamar
taking.
had a bad read and threw it into the arms of Taylor Rapp. There is
I'm
no.
not
There's
taking-
no. It is 100% Lamar. There is not a
No,
single percentage.
I'm
that
not
is in
taking
any way
blame.
attributed
I'm not
to
taking
Bateman.
blame off Lamar. I'm just saying people say it's mindless. I think there was a rhyme and a reason to it. He just made the wrong.
Yeah, there's
decision.
a rhyme and a reason to everything. Obviously, quarterbacks don't. He doesn't think to throw, but Mahomes doesn't make mistakes like that, and that's why
I think that
'cause
he
he has that.
every quarterback makes mistakes like that.
Mahomes doesn't though.
But he does.
Watch him in the playoffs. He is perfect. He is perfect in the playoffs.
The team has won, so it hasn't mattered.
And it just goes back to the team.
But what you want me to just ignore the rest of the guys around him that play very well?
Here's the thing. This is because you always go back to the team, and we have to move on to the game. If Lamar against the Bills had not thrown a terrible interception and had a terrible fumble and had a perfect game, and Mark Andrews had those fumbles and they lost, all right, he had a great game. He did not. Mahomes doesn't do that. That's the difference. When it matters, and consistently it is because he has a higher interception than touchdown ratio in the playoffs. When it matters, and this is objectively, Lamar has not shown up. Mahomes does when it matters. So how could you choose a quarterback who has won 3 Super Bowls, may win a 4th, does not make mistakes when it matters at the biggest stage? Oh, he has a better regular season. Who cares?
So here's where I'll combat you. It's because I see what Lamar Jackson did against Buffalo, and I don't see a bad game. I saw 2 mistakes that were very costly, but I also saw some of the best plays you will see out of a quarterback in the clutch. He led an 88-yard drive for a touchdown that should have been the game-tying drive if Mark Andrews doesn't drop the ball.
And
Well,
Mahomes
you
has
blame
led
that on him?
Mahomes led what, a 90-yard drive against the Bills with 23 seconds left to win. Like Lamar would never do that.
He very well could have done that given the plays that happened.
Could
Those
have, would
were
have, should.
an
Like it's
over the
just
middle pass to Kelsey
Look,
that Kelsey got a lot of rack on, a screen pass to Hill. That was bad Leslie Frazier defense. And listen, I'm not saying that Mahomes didn't do a good job, but there were 2 timeouts and easy passes. It's not as chalked up as it is to be.
I
That
think
Mahomes
I
had an
think saying
unbelievable
that
game.
throw to Kelsey like in the seam when he has to look
But
off the
it's
linebacker,
not such
that's
an
not
unreal
easy.
throw that Lamar couldn't make it. He could make that throw. That's a very
No, he could have. And look. I think I actually do agree with you on that. That he was, while he did have the 2 turnovers that were inexcusable, especially the
that's it.
second one, which I thought was the worst.
Serge, that's where it should end. That's where it should end.
But that's
He had
not
the
where
two
it
No,
turnovers. Yes,
I
it
not
do.
where it
should.
ends.
No, because we've
Because
seen Mahomes have 2 turnovers in the Super Bowl, but he showed up in the fourth quarter and got the credit for
exactly.
it.
Dylan,
Lamar showed up in. Yeah, he was.
But that's the difference. Is that if you're Dylan, and just
You're
if Lamar
misreading what he
doesn't
just
throw that,
said.
I'm not. If Lamar doesn't throw that interception, they might score. If he doesn't fumble that play at a key point, they might score. Mahomes doesn't do that. Lamar could have had the best throw of all time. He could have had the best rush of all time. With the 2 turnovers, I don't care. Mahomes shows up when it matters and does not make those mistakes.
Mahomes, what I will say to combat that is Mahomes has had games where he's had multiple turnovers and it showed up in the clutches. Lamar would have gotten the credit if Lamar would have gotten the credit for that if Andrews catches the ball, which I feel like a tight end dropping a pass doesn't make you a worse quarterback. However, I agree he did not play. He played far from a perfect game and did more than enough to lose his team the game. But he also did more than enough to win his team the game. So
It doesn't matter.
it's a pretty no. I agree, and I think overall his overall playoff resume speaks way too much. Speaks way too much that he is a worse quarterback than Mahomes to take him with all things in a vacuum in this AFC Championship. I don't care that Mahomes has had a worse regular season, which he's had a still very good regular season. I just can't fathom it.
All right, I'll close it here. I don't want to take this on too long. You can combat what I say, but my closing statement is that just purely based on how they've played within the past 2 seasons, and listen, Lamar Jackson's playoff resume past these last 2 seasons, he was a different quarterback than he is now. Even in his 2019 MVP winning season, he was a monumentally, unbelievably great creator and rusher, but as a pocket passer, he struggled. He has grown so much in the last 2 seasons. He had an all-time playoff game against Houston. He had an all-time playoff game against Pittsburgh this year. And that game against Buffalo, although he made mistakes, when the game was on the line, when the chips were down, he led a long touchdown drive against the best defense in football. This is not a bad game. It is determined by bad moments. And it happens. But Patrick Mahomes has also had bad moments in playoff games where his team has helped him overcome them. This game for Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews fumbled. He dropped a pass. The defense wasn't able to stop the run. It happens. The teams are more important than the quarterback. That's where I'm laying in.
I just want to make one really quick statement. The defense actually did stop the run. They actually were better than any other team has been against Buffalo.
It's true.
A lot
It's
under
true.
4 yards
It's
per
true.
carry. And I think some of those points, some of those rushing touchdowns were down to, well, the second one out was down to Lamar's second turnover. So
No, it's true. It's true. But my statement doesn't not say that. I'm just saying from what I've seen, from what I see, from what I notice, there's a lot of bad talk about Lamar Jackson that you don't see about other quarterbacks because he doesn't fit into the stereotypical realm of a quarterback that can win games in the playoffs based on play style. And listen, he has done such an he's done such an unbelievable job in 2 of 4 playoff games. And I know it's not the greatest of ratios, but those 2 games against Houston and against Pittsburgh, against a very, very good CJ Stroud led Texans team, and against the top 5 defense in the league, he went out there and he delivered. It's not a guy who can't deliver. It's a team, and he's made mistakes. Every quarter.
And Houston, that's
Houston
got to
last
be the
season-
easiest run.
Pittsburgh had a top 5 defense in the league this season, and he
Pittsburgh
had
are
an
terrible.
unbelievable game.
Pittsburgh's
offense is terrible, but their
Yeah.
defense was top 5 in the league. And he had
their defense did stumble down the stretch, to be fair.
but it was still a top 5 defense in the league.
And Houston, I do not want to hear. Houston were awful, and Houston are not like that.
Houston were in the divisional round last
You
year.
look at
We were
that as a
talking
tough
about
round, and
CJ Stroud.
that's why you can argue as Jaden Daniels, who look what he's done. Like that's the thing. It's like even Jaden Daniels, his first year in the playoffs, has done more than Lamar.
But I don't think that's true. or even
It's
close.
it's it's objectively true. He's
No,
in
it's
the
not.
NFC
He
Championship.
won 2 games. Lamar's won four
Three.
and three. He's won, and Lamar Jackson has gone to the conference championship. Lamar Jackson
So
has,
has Jane Daniels.
but it's not more. If Lamar's won more
Also,
playoff,
Dylan, also Jaden Daniels has gone to the conference championship against all odds. Lamar beat a Pittsburgh Steelers that was on an incredible decline. The Houston Texans, who had one good show up game against the Chargers when they should have been good all year and were way below expectations,
different Texans team, I
not
was
different.
talking
They
about.
had one good game. Every team can have a good game.
I was talking about the Texans last year. I'm not talking about this year. The
What?
Texans that were in the divisional round last season that won the
The
wild card,
rookie CJ Stroud.
who was unarguably a top five quarterback in football last year. Not even a complaint. Not a complaint about his game. Listen.
Yeah,
I can't have a serious conversation with you about Lamar Jackson's playoff successes if you don't know what teams he's playing against.
yes, I do.
You said
That's what
Houston Texans this season. It's a different team.
that's not what I said.
That's literally what you said.
That's not. And here's where I'll stage it. If you're gonna argue that, here's how it is. Jaden Daniels is a rookie, has made it as far as Lamar Jackson's made his entire career. You're arguing that Lamar Jackson has beat a rookie in the playoffs, which is, I guess, never happened, and that's incredible. A Pittsburgh Steelers team that was bad this year.
Categorizing CJ Stroud
Dylan.
last season as some rookie is just not fair.
He's a rookie. It's his first playoffs. Of course, Lamar's gonna beat him. What is that like? What like? Okay, yeah, CJ Stroud is fantastic.
So
that's
you're just
great.
gonna take away the
I'm not
accomplishment of
taking
beating
it
a-
away.
That's
Obviously, the
literally.
Ravens were
What do you mean you're
favored.
not taking it away? You're saying, of course, Lamar is gonna beat him. No, that's not. That's a
Dylan, he
difficult
went
game.
into the game as a clear favorite. Jaden
It's a
Daniels,
difficult
as a
game.
rookie, has gone in against all odds away from home. Lamar's getting home games, and he beat the Texans. Like, wow, I had no idea that. That's crazy that happened. Lamar beats the teams he's expected to beat, but then when he goes up against the Bills, a game that's close, he doesn't win. When he goes up against a Chief, a team that's close, he doesn't win. The
Lamar
games that are
Jackson
close,
beats
when it matters, he doesn't win. Oh, he beat the Bills the first season injured. When it matters, he loses.
He
Jaden
beat-
Daniels, now when it matters, is winning. Mahomes, when it matters, is
How
winning.
is Jaden Daniels's when it matters game, and of course it matters, but how is his when it matters game any different than Lamar Jackson's when it matters game when they've made it to the same spot? And this isn't even the argument.
He's a rookie. Lamar's been in the league for what? How many years has he been in the league? 7? 6?
6 years, but I don't understand how you could say he's had already more playoff success when they've made it to the same spot and Lamar has had more certifiably amazing games.
I wouldn't say
he's had
more.
6 more
I would
years.
say
And
But-
definitely not
no,
more.
you
Jaden
can't-
Daniels
but-
has been way more impressive for what
Okay,
was
no,
expected
Jaden-
of these two guys.
Jaden
It's not
Daniels
even
is
close.
sure. Jaden Daniels' game against Detroit, unbelievable. I have no complaints. You could say that was the best quarterback performance of the playoffs. this
Easily
season.
by a
No
mile.
problem. No problem. No problem. But to say that his game against Tampa Bay was anything more than a good win, I feel like you can't say that. Like, it was a good win.
It was it was his first playoff game away in Tampa Bay. That was fantastic for a
Yeah,
rookie.
it was a good
quarterback.
win. It was a good win. But you're using the I'm a rookie card to say that it's more special than it is.
You just used the CJ Stroud rookie card.
No, I was saying that it doesn't take away from the performance. You're using it in both directions. You have to actually be even with it. You're saying
How?
that because CJ Stroud was a rookie, Lamar has to go out and win that game, and him being a rookie is very like
Yeah, which plays perfectly into my next argument where, yeah, I thought that Jaden Daniels should have lost the Lions because he was a rookie and he overcame that and won.
But
which
I'm
is
saying
why-
you're viewing rookies as if they're not football players. They're 18 games into the regular season. You go into the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's a
Dylan,
continuance. It's a continuance.
You're arguing that a rookie is a football player who has 18 games, where Lamar has 6 seasons and playoff games. That's
But I'm
the
saying
worst
they're not-
argument I've maybe ever heard of all
They're
time.
not children. They've played NFL games.
They
They're
damn near are. It's their first. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, I think you're viewing them in a way too like minimalistic
This
sense.
is
They're
a
players.
losing argument.
They're players.
Because I know if this was an argument, you would be saying you would be on my side if you weren't fighting for Lamar. Whatever. We're gonna move on. If you want a quarterback who loses in the divisional round and wins MVP,
I want Lamar Jackson.
So you're saying you would rather a quarterback. So that's what you're saying. You would rather a quarterback who wins MVPs and
I
Super
would-
Bowls.
No,
That's
that's
what
not
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying.
That's-
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes based on looking at the game with my eyes, looking at the way that
I hate that. Looking at the game with my eyes. What do we? I look at it with my ass. Like, yeah.
no, but but you're saying
So you said that 6 times. Your argument is losing. Like everyone's gonna watch this and know it's a lose. Like it's a losing argument.
I know it's an unpopular opinion, but you can't look at Lamar Jackson and say that he's not a special player, and you can't look at Lamar Jackson. And you can't look at Lamar Jackson and say that in the playoffs he's a bad player, which you are saying.
Well, you kind of can.
You can't.
You
he has
can.
more interceptions than touchdowns.
His overall playoff resume, you can make that case.
But his overall playoff
this year he made a lot of strides this year, and I feel like anyone that doesn't say that
I don't think he did.
No,
that's
he
ridiculous
did.
though.
He made
did.
strides, but a Buffalo game, he was favored to win. The Steelers game was they shouldn't have even been in the playoffs. The Steelers were on
Let me ask you.
Lamar wins that.
Did Lamar have a good
NFL
game against Buffalo?
Committee.
Did Lamar have a good game against Buffalo? Do you think Lamar had a good game against Buffalo?
Yeah,
Overall.
Yeah, 2 game turning.
Did he have a good game? Yes or no?
No.
No. I think you're viewing it in the wrong way then. Because with turnovers, like I'm not putting.
You can't just say he had 2 turnovers, but besides that, had a great game.
I'm not
That's not how it works.
I'm saying that those turnovers were detrimental, but Lamar Jackson overcame those turnovers and had a chance to tie the game when Mark Andrews dropped the ball in the end zone. If Mark Andrews catches the ball in the end zone, that is an all-time playoff drive, and we're talking about Lamar Jackson, if they go on to win that game, in a very, very, very different light.
And that might have also been a game. And that might have also been a game-winning drive had Mark Andrews not fumbled the drive previous.
Correct.
So.
And it also may have been a game-winning drive if he had not thrown the interception. It also may have been a game-winning touchdown.
I agree.
The fact that he was able to come back from those.
Use the mark.
No,
but he didn't come back. They lost.
But I'm saying that they
almost came back. Oh, great. That makes it better. They almost did it, man.
Due to Lamar Jackson's ability to elevate and make plays that no other quarterback in the league can make. That is another thing that I barely have even said. Lamar Jackson has a play a game that not another person in the world can do.
Not true.
It is true.
He can run the ball. That's the only other thing. He's never.
The play he made.
Mahomes has thrown it with the left hand on tackle. Mahomes has thrown the ball while being vertical to the ground. Lamar could never do that.
Burrow did that this season. Lamar could do that.
Burrow, I think, is also better than Lamar.
That is crazy. But Lamar Jackson, overall, as a creator, is the best the sport has ever seen. I don't think that's arguable.
You're taking him over 2018 Mahomes?
Yes. As a creator, as a pure cool. Did you see the
Mahomes?
Did you see the touchdown that Justice Hill scored in the wild card game? Did you see that play? Insane. And people don't.
I don't think anyone's arguing how special of a creator Lamar is. I'm on both sides. I'm saying I'm not. The only point I'm arguing is I just don't understand how you can say you would prefer Lamar Jackson over Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game in a vacuum. Just because Lamar is a more fun player to watch.
It's not a more fun. Rodgers? He's also more accurate. He's also just as good at leading a drive when the team needs it. Just as good.
No. In the playoffs?
He did it. He did it.
But overall, you're looking at his overall resume, and you're telling me he's as good as Patrick Mahomes because of 2
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying his resume is as good as Patrick Mahomes'.
But you're saying right now you would trust him as much as you would trust Patrick Mahomes.
Correct. I
would.
He just
see. I agree with you on some of the stuff, and then you say stuff like that, and then it's just an indefensible position.
Dylan, that's not an opinion. That's an objectively wrong thing because he just didn't do that.
But you're judging the loss based off of a dropped 2-point conversion, a fumble, and an inability to stop Buffalo's offense when they
he threw a terrible interception.
He did. And I have never once.
Those were 2 of his mistakes that could have turned into points.
I have said that despite that. I have said that despite that.
You can't say despite that.
I can't say avoid that. I can say despite that, he had a fantastic game and he was let down.
So if someone in soccer scores 4 own goals but scores a goal, that's
not an equivalent argument. You could say that if a guy in
that's
soccer.
What you're saying.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if a guy in soccer scores an own goal and also scores 3 goals, that's a good game.
That's not what Lamar did.
He didn't score 4 own goals.
So you're saying, despite the 2 game-changing turnovers he had a good game.
Yes.
No shit. When you don't look at the two
But
turnovers,
I'm saying,
yeah, because
including the 2 game-changing turnovers he had a good game because he led the Baltimore Ravens. Despite those 2 turnovers, he had an absolutely flawless game. Now, those were flaws. Those were flaws.
But you can't say
No,
he had a
didn't have
flawless game
No,
besides
no, but I'm
besides the-
saying those.
That's the
those
whole
2
point. Besides the 4 own goals, he had
No,
a
but I'm
flawless
saying-
game. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying you keep those 2 plays in. Those 2 plays happened. It was still
Flawed
he was
game.
still a top 3 quarterback in that game. No quarterback is playing as well as very few quarterbacks are having a better game than Lamar Jackson did in that game.
I think Burrow would have.
I don't think you can
think
put
Burrow
Joe
would've.
Burrow into that game and he has a better game than Lamar. I don't think so.
And I think Burrow, another guy, shows up in the playoffs.
Burrow's played 2 playoff
He's
seasons.
been to a
ever.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's been to the playoffs twice.
He's been to a higher position than Lamar.
And also, Burrow's playoffs.
Burrow also beat Kansas City in that. That alone is better than all of Lamar's games combined. That game was unreal
ridiculous.
from Joe Burrow.
No, you
Lamar
can't say
would never
one
even
game is
come
better
close
than
to that.
all of a guy's games combined. I think that's crazy. No, so listen, we're very clearly on different sides of this argument, but what I haven't done that you've done is you've exaggerated. I've been very, very straightforward with my line of
I've exaggerated.
Of course you've exaggerated.
I've exaggerated. Yeah, so he threw 5 interceptions but had a touchdown.
He didn't
So
throw
aside
5
from those, it's
interceptions.
flawless.
What do you
Dylan,
mean
it's
you
the-
don't
Dylan,
exaggerate? He
Dylan,
didn't
it's
throw
the
5
same. It's the
interceptions.
same. It's the same thing. It's the same
How
thing.
is it the same thing? It's 1 interception compared to 5.
And a fumble.
And
and
you
a
don't
fumble.
exaggerate?
And a
Are you
fumble.
out of your mind?
And a fumble. Dylan, it's the same concept. Someone
not the
has
same
1
concept.
interception, 5 interceptions. You're saying that Lamar had 2 interceptions. You literally said Lamar had 2 interceptions, but besides that was flawless.
He had 1 interception.
No shit. No, whatever. 2
No,
interceptions.
not
Same
no
thing.
shit.
2 turnovers.
That's not a no
Yes,
shit
it is.
thing to say.
Yes,
No.
it is, Dylan. It's the
No.
same thing as saying
What do you mean?
someone has 5 interceptions, but besides those was flawless. Obviously, if you don't count the 5
1
interceptions.
and 5 the same thing? It's numbers.
Yeah, but
No,
Dylan,
but-
it's the same. You know that you're just picking at dumb shit because you know you're wrong. You're
I'm
picking at the
not
wrong
wrong.
thing. It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 30 versus 2, whatever it is. Your concept, take apart the numbers. Someone has a bad part of a game and a good part. You take away the bad part, they had a good game.
No, but
Oh,
I'm
fucking-
not.
Oh, really?
No, that's the
no
difference.
shit.
No, you're misunderstanding me. I'm not taking away the bad
You
part.
literally
I'm
said
saying-
that. You said
No,
Well,
apart
you
from the
said
2
besides
interceptions, he was
the
flawless.
flaws, he was
And you say that
flawless.
I
That's
Yeah,
not
exaggerated.
taking
no,
away from
you know
the
what?
Get
No,
out of here.
Surge, you're right. I did say that, but you know that's not what I meant. What I meant was,
Oh, yeah, I can read your mind.
including those plays, he still had a very, very good game. And what
Not
would
good
have
enough
been
to win, and those plays were.
And what would have been, but it was good enough to win. It was good enough to win if the guys on his team had stepped up and done the job that he helped out. He played a part in the loss, and every quarterback that loses a game plays a part in the loss. But at the end of the day, he was the best player on the Baltimore Ravens, and if his team had stepped up and helped them, they would have won that game. That is where I stand.
Dylan, we're actually.
Could you be for sure though if with Josh Allen having a minute 33 to lead?
Josh Allen threw for 127 yards in that game. I'm not moved.
Yeah, he also had a huge rush and incredible. And
He had 20 rushing yards.
and a rushing touchdown.
Tush push.
What did you watch?
He had 2 rushing touchdowns. One was a 4-yard run. I won't say anything bad about that. Tush push
So
on the second one.
No, because this just eliminates your argument. Okay, let's. I'll play your game. Let's take off the 2 turnovers.
So Lamar Jackson had a better game.
No,
than
I don't.
Josh
I,
Allen.
let,
But
yeah, it's
let's-
just yeah. Yep. So did
Surge,
Josh Allen turn the
come in.
ball over? Did Josh Allen
Josh-
turn the ball over?
Josh
Did
Allen.
he answer the question? Did he turn the
No,
ball over?
no.
Okay, that's your done.
Okay, so by
Deal
your
finished.
book, the best quarterback is the
Yes,
quarterback
yes.
who doesn't turn the ball. Okay,
Yes.
so then the best quarterback in football 2 seasons ago was Tua Tagovailoa. Thank you very much.
No. What are you talking? Yeah,
He had the least turnovers in the league. 2
that's
seasons
not what
ago.
I'm saying.
That's literally what you just said. The best
That's not
quarterback
what
is
I'm
the one
saying.
who doesn't turn the ball over.
That's not. You're. Oh my god. You just.
You're
twist
battling
words.
yourself.
I'm battling myself.
You're battling yourself.
2 turnovers, but flawless besides that.
Listen,
Dylan, let's so okay, maybe I misspoke there. Let's put into this. Let's say Lamar didn't have the asinine interception and they scored. Oh wait, he didn't, and they didn't score. So maybe he led them to lead that. Maybe he had a great game-winning drive, but he wouldn't have had to do that if he didn't throw that interception,
You're
if he
right.
didn't fumble that ball.
You're right.
Exactly. Did
right.
Josh Allen do that? No. Did they score and win the game? Yes.
No,
That is argument over. Does Mahomes?
No, it's
Look,
not argument
Look,
over.
here's
Yes,
here's
it
what
is.
You know why it's
here's
not
what I
argument
here,
over?
wait,
Because
wait,
he
wait,
took
wait,
his
let me
team away from scoring points by doing turnovers.
But so did Josh Allen in different spots. It wasn't
No,
turnovers.
he didn't.
It wasn't turnovers.
Turnovers are the all NBA.
There was a goal-to-go situation where Josh Allen had the ball in his hands on all 3 plays, and they didn't score a touchdown. There was an opportunity. Yeah, they got 3. They didn't get 7.
Yeah.
In the goal to go, you want to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
The
That's
Ravens,
4
if you
points
didn't
off the
do that-
board.
That's
Yeah,
4
Dylan,
points
guess
off the
what?
board.
Here's what I'll say.
Guess what? If
I think
Lamar
you could,
hadn't thrown that interception, if Lamar hadn't thrown that interception, they could have got a field goal. They would have won the game.
They
Is
could
that
have
not
gotten
right?
a field goal. They weren't in field goal
exactly.
range.
Dylan, what I will
Exactly.
say to counter that is though that Lamar also had a goal to go situation when he had that long pass to Damar Hamlin and also didn't score. What I want to say is I think that you could I think it's obvious Lamar made way more plays than Josh Allen to win the game, but he also made way more plays to lose the game.
So
I feel like
in your eyes, who had a better game?
in my eyes, Lamar did. In my eyes. But I think that you can make a case either way, and I think you cannot make a case at all that Lamar has a better pedigree than Mahomes or Josh Allen at this point in his career.
I think you can make the argument that he has
No.
Not than Mahomes. I think you can than Allen.
Even
I don't even know if I would make
not
it.
even close.
I don't know if I would make it, but I think there is an argument.
No. What's the argument?
I mean, whatever. Let's move on.
Tell me the argument.
The argument that I would make is that Josh Allen has just very recently come off the first win against a division winner in his playoff career.
Yeah,
and
but now that he's done that, Lamar's only done that once also.
Twice.
Oh, twice. Okay.
Twice.
But is that really the one metric you want to use?
No, I'm saying I don't know that I would make the argument, but there is an argument to make that Josh Allen has beaten up on smaller teams. That would be the only.
My argument isn't really here with Josh Allen. It's with Mahomes because it's just outrageous. I mean, it's clearly a trend. Dylan likes quarterbacks who can stat pad and.
What do you mean what is stat padding in football? What is that? What does that even mean?
Do you not notice that?
You know what? Please explain what
this is
stat
exactly,
padding in football is.
You're talking about Josh Allen beats up against bad teams. So does Lamar Jackson. That's just a terrible take.
Lamar Jackson had the hardest schedule to win this season, and he won against all of the good teams outside of.
But lost to the Raiders. Yeah, so that's great. And
so
then in the playoffs,
how does that help your
And then
argument?
in the playoffs, he has more interceptions than touchdowns. So obviously, whatever.
But
Here's the thing. I mean, whatever. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because also it's the same argument here with Tua. Has a great regular season and then is
how does that have anything to do with this?
So, because this seems to be your quarterback love. You love stats and regular season play, but then when he gets to the playoffs, you could give a shit how they play.
No.
Clearly,
I like quarterbacks that help their teams completely revitalize the way that they look. Lamar Jackson is
I forgot Mahomes and Josh Allen never did that.
No, I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm saying Lamar is better. That's all I've said. And Lamar is about to win his second straight MVP, be named to his second straight first team All-Pro team.
And he's in Cancun while he gets that. Awesome. And Mahomes might go three-peat. Yet somehow this guy
might not. He might not. But let's get to the
it doesn't make sense.
Let's get to the Bills Chiefs game. Let's get to the Bills Chiefs game because you just said that Patrick Mahomes could be onto his third straight win, but if he doesn't win this game, your argument of Mahomes is just the winner. Lamar had a better season if they don't win this game. So who do you think's going to win?
What are you talking about? He has 2 more Super Bowls. It's not like Lamar. Generally, if Lamar couldn't win it this year, how much better when will he win it?
So your argument is how much better can a quarterback get? That is what you're saying. Lamar had an unbelievably great season and they didn't win, right? How much better can a quarterback get? Doesn't that mean that the quarterback's pretty much unbeatable? But it's pretty much what you're saying is if you're saying when is Lamar going?
That made no sense.
No, you said when is Lamar going to win again because of how good he is pretty much what I'm assuming, right? That's what you're saying?
No, if not now, when? Because they're at the peak of their powers right now.
Next year? Or the year after? Or as long as Lamar Jackson's there and still physically capable at this level, they will have just as good a chance to win.
Sir, the funny thing is Lamar could have went and won a Super Bowl and he's still not better than Mahomes.
He's better than Mahomes. But we'll move because this is just redundant. But